Check out a new film releasing nationwide on September 28th called Faith of Angels. Based on the true story of a boy lost in a mine, it is a tearjerker. The film releases on the 35th anniversary of the date this horror turned hope unfolded.
Dad, do you think we could go into the mine now?
Yeah, these mines are like a maze. You could turn around so quick in here. Can you imagine walking around in this with no light?
Can't even see the opening anymore.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? It's been nearly 24 hours since 10-year-old Joshua Dennis was last seen.
Joshua!
Someone's gonna find him. Why can't they hit me?
Why'd you come back so early?
I guess I just heard a voice.
Voice?
Sheriff, I think I can help.
I have a crew in there right now. They handle this kind of thing.
If he's in there, we'll find him.
What is he doing in there? Is he cold? Is he hurt?
We'll investigate all scenarios that could have happened to the boy.
All scenarios.
The boy might be lost in there, or he could be hiding or injured. Maybe the boy just doesn't want to say anything.
Why would my son be hiding? It just doesn't make any sense. We've been through every possible place he could be.
I think it's time we just consider the inevitable.
Are you a man of faith, Sheriff?
You don't run something that's important on faith.
Hundreds of volunteers reached out through letters, prayers, and even showing up at the mine.
I spent my life crawling around through those tunnels, and I can't shake the feeling that I should be helping.
Take heart, my love, 'cause when I see you, I see hope. When I see you, I see hope. There's a world that needs what you got to give.
We have a missing boy. If he has even a sliver of hope, we better respond to it.
Now, you might be wondering, what in the world kind of shirt is Tina wearing today? It's a UFO with people being abducted and the words "aliens didn't take us" on the bottom. On the back, it is a picture of Jesus saying "I did" with the verse 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 17. This is one of my new favorite shirts. As I've said about 2 years ago now, if many people are missing, we were not abducted by aliens, as I believe many corrupt world leaders and the Antichrist will be leading the left behind majorly astray with that reasoning. It was the rapture of the church, as Jesus professed would happen right before the tribulation period. If you're not a believer now, place your faith in Jesus today. Find his purpose for your life now, and don't be left behind. You can get this conversation starter shirt from sealedInChrist.com/Tina Griffin. That's sealedInChrist.com/Tina Griffin. Now for our End Times Prophecy guest. Dr. Jeffrey Johnson is a humanitarian, author, and scholar on the Jewish roots of Christianity, the Middle East, and Bible prophecy. As the founder of Israel Today Ministries, Dr. Johnson has delivered over 218,000 meals and additional resources to the people of Israel. He was a pastor for over 17 years and received his master's degree from Moody Bible Institute and his doctorate from Louisiana Baptist University. He is a member of the American Society of Church History, as well as the Evangelical Theological Society. As founder of Israel Today Ministries, Dr. Johnson has spent over 2 decades ministering directly to the Israeli people, including Holocaust survivors. At present, 165,000 Holocaust survivors remain, and over a third of them live in poverty. This is the Counterculture Mom Show. I'm your host, Tina Griffin. We are discussing end times prophecy this week as it falls over the Feast of Trumpets with Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, founder of Israel Today Ministries. How you doing, Jeffrey?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. It's a delight to be here.
Yes, I want to know, in your young life here on God's green earth, how in the world you crammed in that many different experiences. Did you start when you were like 3?
Oh, no. It was just an academic pursuit. Now, my mother was Jewish and my father was Swedish. So if you want to know what a Jewish Viking looks like, that would be me. And now, intrinsically, I've always had a curiosity and interest in Israel, Jewish people, and of course, biblical theology and things related to Israel. So it's been a long journey, a good journey.
Unreal. Well, the top question of the week, a little curveball question before we get started. Do you think the Lord is right around the corner? Do you think he could return at any hour?
Oh, great question. Listen, the rabbis are anticipating the coming of the Mashiach. Evangelicals are anticipating the coming of the Mashiach. Orthodox and even some Catholic scholars are anticipating, if you can imagine, the coming of the Messiah. You know, I just returned from Israel a couple of months ago, and two questions were asked of me. One was, why does the world hate us so? And this came from soldiers, colleagues, religious and political leaders that I know in Israel. And the second question, Tina, was this, and this principally came from Israeli soldiers. They asked, and they know what I believe, they know what we do there, providing food for kids and Holocaust survivors and all. But they asked me, do you believe this is the beginning of Gog and Magog? It's on the mind. It's on. These are the two principal questions I was asked.
Unreal. What was your response to that?
Oh, well, there were many conversations. I sat and chatted with a captain in the ITF, and in tears, this dear woman, she says, why do they hate us so? Why does the world? So we talked about that. We talked about what the Nevi'im, the prophet, said regarding end time events, that the world will turn against Israel. And you know, when October 7 happened, your listeners, the people that are viewing this must understand, it only took 1 month for the news media to blame Israel for the attack.
Unreal.
And it took the world only 9 months through the ICC, which is powerless, but they have a lot of influence, where they condemned Israel for doing this war. And we could speak to that. There's a lot of talk about proportionality. Let me just share this with your American audience here. If proportionately we were attacked similarly by a terrorist group, Israel's a country of about 9 million people. We are a country of about 335 million. If we were attacked proportionately, it would look like this: 40,000 Americans killed, 10,000 Americans taken hostage, and 1,100 of those would have been children. On that day, October 7, you had 12 to 1,400 people killed. You had 250 taken hostage, 30 of whom were children. It's just a smaller country, smaller numbers. But if we were attacked, that's what it would look like. What do you think we would do if 40,000 Americans were killed by a terrorist group? What do you think we would do? And what are you feeling right now? This is what Israel is doing. This is what Israel is feeling.
40,000 people killed in America in comparison to how many people were killed percentage-wise in Israel at that point. We just had the remembrance of 9/11, where 3,000 to 4,000 people were killed and everybody was in an uproar. So I can't even imagine 40,000 people killed. That is unbelievable. You have a book that dissects all of your research over the years and helping the Israeli people face to face over several decades. What prompted you to write Hope Rising, and how is it different from other books you've written?
Oh, my great question. Thank you, Tina. No, we live in a world of great despair, hopelessness, fear, anxiety, depression, and these are all very real things. PTSD.
Yes.
The DNA of Israel has changed since October 7. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but they ask, why does the world hate us? I have a colleague who, I won't name her name, but was a member of the Knesset, worked for Ariel Sharon and Yitzhak Rabin. She texted me a couple of weeks ago. She says, it is so hard to breathe here in Israel. She says, it is so sad all the time. And it's just overwhelming. We're at the threshold of some very powerful global events. Jesus spoke this. He called them labor pains. This is a big labor pain since October 7th. This is a big one.
Yep.
And the world, yeah, and they're talking Gog and Magog, World War III, all kinds of things. But there is a lot of hopelessness. And that was the motivational impetus to write such a book, that to remind people that God holds their hand.
Absolutely. And we so need hope in this world today. So Hope Rising, such a fantastic title for a book that's desperately needed in our culture today. I couldn't agree more. And I'm so thankful you wrote it, because you've seen the horrific side, and yet God's using you to spread hope and joy and peace at the same time. We're going to do a short commercial break. I've got about 42 more questions for the last 12 minutes of this program. So get ready for a major deal here. More with Jeffrey right after this. Imagine having the ability to boost your body's own defenses against illness and disease without having to rely on corporate or government solutions. It's all about tapping into the powerful, natural ways that have been provided to us by God. Inforce is a groundbreaking immune-supporting mushroom with over 400 studies confirming its abilities. Chris Eriks, also known as Baby Trump, has an incredible story of how his throat cancer went into remission after just 3 months of taking Inforce. And it's not just for humans. Stephanie gave her dog Mush puppies and saw amazing results. Her pup is now walking again and cancer-free. That's why so many people are using Inforce and Mush puppies for themselves and their pets. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 80% of customers keep coming back for more. Check out petclub247.com/Tina to get your own supply. That's petclub247.com/Tina. With cancer on the rise, it's imperative to boost our immune systems every day. Take the first step towards a healthier future with Inforce.
Can we trust what's written in the book of Genesis? How could a flood cover the entire earth? And where do dinosaurs fit in the Bible? Find the answers to these questions and more at the ICR Discovery Center in Dallas. Bring family and friends to experience the wonders of creation through our exhibit hall and stunning planetarium shows. Experience the origins of our universe. Step aboard Noah's Ark, chill in our Ice Age theater, meet the founders of science, encounter animatronic animals, and so much more. Our scientists' work is on display in the current research exhibit, and our biology research laboratory showcases our experiments. And don't forget to shop the Discovery Store for t-shirts, books, gifts, and more. Discover how science confirms the Bible today.
Bring your family and friends to the ICR Discovery Center in Dallas. To plan your visit, go to icr.org/Tina. That's icr.org/TINA.
Remember what Grandma said, garbage in equals garbage out. Let's keep the garbage out in 2024 and put quality TV shows, movies, social media that is biblically based in our kids' brains. The Counterculture Mom app is loaded with these godly options. We have many different easy-to-navigate sections on our app. However, the most popular is the Pop Culture Alerts. Get timely pop culture alerts through our push notifications with the Counterculture Mom app. These daily notifications keep you updated about cultural issues that are trending, and many of which are dangerous for our kids to see. However, we pump out a ton of positive pop culture alerts so you have great entertainment options right at your fingertips. You can download the Counterculture Mom app at the Google Play or iTunes Store and get our notifications right on your phone. Read the short alerts, apply our advice, and in turn, your children will know how to make their own wise media choices and develop a healthy worldview as a result. Win-win, people. The app is $5 a month, or we're doing a deal now for the entire year for $50. That funding helps us push out more alerts each week with our team of 6 just on the app and produce this show every single week. Don't forget to say yes to receiving those push notifications when you download the app. Happy navigating, people.
You know, when you have officers in the IDF in tears, when I was there, I had a military escort in the South where the war began, and I saw things, surveillance videos, all kinds of nasty. I mean, just you know, Hamas, they decapitated babies, just bad things, evil things. But when you have officers in the IDF, and I said, have you been down there? She says, I haven't been able to bring myself to do that. It is so overwhelming. And so this book has brought hope, and we talk about that. And there's a wonderful verse that kind of encapsulates the whole book, if you want to address that, is Isaiah 41:13, where God says, "I will take you by the hand, the right hand." He said, basically, he's walking with you, and he says, "Do not fear. I will help you." It's okay to be human. It's okay to be human. We feed children in the Tel Aviv area, down in Sderot, where the war began. In that area, we feed 50 kids down in that city.
Wow.
And when you speak with the children, they're rocking. They don't even realize they're rocking. PTSD. They're in a war.
Yes.
Children in Tel Aviv, Holocaust survivors up in Haifa, down in Beersheba. These are some of the areas we minister in. And I've been there. Now, when we're there anywhere from 2 weeks up to 3 months at a time. My next trip, which will be in a couple of weeks, my wife and I, it'll be our 49th trip.
Wow.
But we have a team we work with all throughout Israel. They know we're there. We have colleagues and friends in the religious community, the political community, believers and non-believers. We work with both. But listen, the war in Gaza, listen, that changed the DNA of Israel. And as I said earlier, I was down there, had an escort in the areas where the war began, where the Nova Festival was. Saw surveillance videos that the world may not see. I saw things that were just pure evil. And what is forgotten is, okay, where did all this stem from? Way back, remember Israel, Land for Peace, they gave the Sinai back to Egypt in 73. Back in 2005, they said to the Palestinians, let me say this, Palestinians are not an ethnic group nor a religious group. They're just Arabs who have embraced a political ideology. Palestinian is a political ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And there were suicide bombings, bus bombings, all back then. We were there when all that was going on. Israel said, okay, we will give you this piece of real estate, Gaza. Stop killing us. Mm-hmm. Stop bombing us. So they gave them the piece of real estate. The following year, Hamas got in power. And from 2006 to October 7, over 30,000 rockets Hamas launched into Israel.
That's crazy.
And then October 7, and all the evil that transpired there. And Israel said, enough, enough. And all the skirmishes and wars that Israel's been involved in, they never started any of those conflicts. They've always responded and defended. And the world has forgotten that.
Statistics that are out there, it's been a 5-year upswing in anti-Semitic incidents. We see it all over the place. The people that are alive and awake to what's going on out there can easily see it. Yes. Why do you believe this is happening?
Okay, number one, a great question, a sad question, but a great question. The prophets speak to that one day all nations will turn against Israel. And as I said earlier, it only took a month for the news media to blame Israel for October 7. Mm-hmm. 9 months later, for the world to condemn Israel. Anti-Semitism has risen something like 500% here in the States. And, it's just crazy. Europe, it's off the charts. There's more anti-Semitism today globally than there was in World War II. Mm-hmm. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've been the recipient of hate mail and threats and such. And when I speak, often I have a security detail assigned to me, and that's sad. And that's just happened the last couple of years. And what a world. But the prophets speak to that, and it's part of the labor pains Jesus spoke to, where the world, Jerusalem becomes a burdensome stone. And the rabbis say that Jerusalem specifically, is the center of the world. And they're right in that respect. The world looks at this little tiny chunk of real estate called Israel. and they're looking at Israel, and they're condemning Israel. And the university students, we could speak to that if you like, but it's just what the prophet said would take place. That's my heart. And all nations, including the United States. You cut me, I'm red, white, and blue. I love my country. Okay? There's a biblical principle that Jesus speaks to. He says, if you're not with me, you're against me. You gather not with me, you scatter abroad. It's black or white. The moment we remain neutral as a government, okay, Israel, we're your ally, but on this one, you're on your own. Technically, we're against.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct. So when those things happen, and it seems like there's 50 stories a day, I just keep telling the Lord, please know that I'm not part of this corruption, and spare me in the hours of attack and devastation that I believe that America is about to see firsthand, judgments, just because of how our nation has turned its back on God. And yet you and I and many others that are on the front of the battle lines today, we keep asking God, please protect, preserve. May our voices go out in truth, in love. Keep a bubble of safety around our family, because you and I probably should have been dead around 10 times over. I bet if we had a whole separate episode on that, I know I can say that, but yet God's not done with us yet. So keep doing what you're doing, Jeffrey. Just fantastic work with the people of Israel face to face. More with Jeffrey after the short commercial break. We're going to find out how we can get our hands on his fantastic book, Hope Rising Messianic Promise, right after this.
The Jase case is a pack of 5 antibiotics. We put these antibiotics together very purposefully. They were curated in a way that covers the most common as well as the most deadly bacterial infections that you might encounter. In addition, it includes a guidebook to the safe use of the medications that is written in a way that's accessible for most people to be able to look up what their symptoms are and what the proper medication is to take. The idea behind the Jase case is to allow everyone to be better prepared medically, to be empowered to care for themselves.
Since the pandemic began, our healthcare industry has had to transform. From receiving medication to physician visits, everything changed. Jase Medical is dedicated to providing proper access to medications before you need them. This protects against issues during travel or disruptions with supply chains, natural disasters, and other emergency situations that have proven to overwhelm our healthcare system. Secure your own supply of medication with ease and peace of mind.
Use code TINA for a discount at jasemedical.com.
Have you ever wanted to start a charity or ministry? Launching a nonprofit can be time-consuming, expensive, and overwhelming. If you have a vision and mission, but don't know where to start or how to raise donations, Capstone Legacy Foundation is your solution. Their ministry charity project allows you to receive tax-free donations without the expense and hassle of forming your own 501c3, and in less than 48 hours. This ministry partnership fund is exactly how Counterculture Ministries got its start, and we grew quickly. Capstone Legacy Foundation handles all your legal and accounting paperwork, allowing you time to develop the ministry and message God gave you. Call Capstone today at 610-688-8890 or check out capstonelegacy.org for more information. And tell them Tina sent you. Partner with Capstone Legacy Foundation to transform our culture for Christ and get your nonprofit started today.
Dr. Johnson, we got to get our hands on your book, Hope Rising Messianic Promise. Tell us a little bit about this fantastic read that we can get on Amazon. What is it all about?
Oh my! Well, it's a series of very short chapters. I believe 42 chapters, and these are sound bites, devotional sound bites that will encourage and bless and strengthen you. And in this world of overwhelming despair and sadness and hopelessness, this will bring hope to your heart. And we have heard from people all around the country and around the world who have been blessed by this book. And it simply will be an encouragement to your heart, to your walk with the Lord.
That sounds fantastic. I was actually going to say to everybody, grab a book and make a bunch of copies. But what I wanted to say is grab many copies. Grab many copies of this book. I'm like, we got to get out there to the masses, but the wrong way to be doing that is making copies. So grab a bunch of copies, send it out to the masses. You also have a fantastic website, It's IsraelTodayMinistries.org. Everybody, IsraelTodayMinistries.org. You're awesome. Everybody out there, share all these episodes. Go to counterculturemom.com. If you want to donate to our cause to help Jeffrey get on even more platforms, we'd love to have you on board. It's a tax write-off. Just click on that pink donate button, top of the page at counterculturemom.com, and get our Counterculture Mom app. That will keep you in the loop as well. Busy parents, you want to know what's going on, download our app, Counterculture Mom app. Jeffrey, keep at it. You rock. Hopefully I get to see you face-to-face here on the earth. But if not, I'll see you in the air.
Amen and amen.